Welcome to Assist College of Arts and Commerce. This is Assist Edupedia. Myself, Assistant Professor Sunil Shah. Today I will be covering the topic called Trade Union Act. In Trade Union Act 1926, I will be covering up the procedure for registration of the trade union. This particular Trade Union Act comes under the subject called Industrial Law, which is there in the SEM 2 of the Unit 2 of the subject of the course or the class called as FYBMS. And the subject name is Industrial Law. Today in this particular video I will be covering up the modes and application of the registration of the trade union. As you are aware, when the organization forms an union, it has to be registered. Then only it has the locus standi, otherwise it won't have the standi. The union should be registered and the registration should be done with the register of the trade union, which is where the office has been located. Whenever any group of employees or any factory or the workers or any employees wants to register and union, there is a procedure which is as governed under the Trade Union Act 1926. Coming to the introduction, the Trade Union Act was passed in 1926, but it came into force on 1st of June 1927. This Act provides the procedure for registration of the trade union with the view to render lawful association of workers. Students, please remember, previously it was a lawful association of persons, but to give a better name, we should register the trade union. The Act was defined under the law relating to the registration of the trade union and provided a certain privileges, that is the immunity which has been given under the Act and the protection to the registered trade union. So there are some unions which have been registered, there are some civil as well as criminal immunities been given the powers under the Trade Union Act. But when the Trade Union Act, when the union is not registered, then there is no such powers, no such immunities under the Act. What are the functions of trade union? As you see from this particular slide, is to secure the workers' wages when there is a dispute between the employees or the employees or between the workers and other workers, and when there is a discrimination between the two different types of sets of workers related to wages, related to the working hours, or related to welfare or any of the facilities, then it should be come through the union to safeguard the security of the tenure and improve the condition of the service. In some of the organization of some of the factors or some of the industries, the working condition of the workers are not proper, not appropriate. Hence, to settle up these grievances, it should come through union. To improve the opportunities for promotion and training, in some of the organizations, some of the factories, the promotion is not as per the merit. So it is based on some other criteria which is according to discretionary power of the management. But to have a healthy competition between the workers, it should be as per the merit. That is to improve the opportunities for the promotion and the training. To cooperate in the facility and technological advance and broadening the understanding of the workers. So the role of the workers is to help the employer also for the betterment of the employers in the market, the value, the reputation. The worker also should cooperate with the management of the company, so that if the company grows, the workers' salary would be also growing, and if the company grows, also the working facilities or the welfare as well as the cleanliness facilities would be also improved by the management of the company. To promote the interest of the workers in their industries. So sometimes the management would be also doing a role so that they would be asking the workers to put their contribution, to put their particular knowledge for the betterment of the company or for the future of the company. The interest of the workers should be taken into consideration. What are the objectives of this particular act? To lay down the procedure for registration of the trade union, defining the rights and the liabilities. So whenever there is a rights of the workers, there is also the liability of the workers. Regulating their activities and making them more purposeful for the society. So the worker should also take into consideration when the company grows, their growth would be automatically grown. And the union should be also looking after from the management point of view. If they go on strike, whether that strike would be beneficial or it was not beneficial to the organization. The further objective of this Trade Union Act is to provide a framework for the resolution of the dispute between the trade union and the employees. So whenever there is a dispute between the employee or employee of different departments, the union should come into the picture and they should settle the grievances if it is there, if it reaches to them. It should keep into that particular records of the management that there is a dispute, and this should be resolved amicably between sitting across the table, not by going into the strikes or any other different methods which are available in the organization. Through the establishment of conciliation services, that is conciliation services, that whenever there should be win-win type of combination between the employees and the employer, there should not be like a difference of opinion between the employer and the employee, otherwise it will result into strikes, or it won't be healthy competition between the departmental workers. And a system of voluntary arbitration, there should be a third party who would be arbitrating between the disputes between the employees and the employer. To establish the procedure for registration of the trade union, so whenever the union is to be registered, there should be proper procedure. The procedure should be according to the law, and the registrar of the trade union will register the union if it is complying with the rules and regulations, and if it has been satisfied by the workers, which would give them the legal recognition if the union has been registered, and access certain rights and protections under the law. So certain rights would be given by the trade union to the office bearers of the trade union which has been registered, and there would be some protection, that would be civil and criminal liability. Criminal proceedings won't be against the union if it is working within the limits. What is the section 4 of the Trade Union Act says that it is the mode of registration. Though whenever the trade union has been registered, the number of your workers or the persons who want to register their union should be 7, or 10% of the members or 100 members of the trade union to make an application. So the application should be made in proper format, and it should be submitted to the registrar of the trade union. All the members should subscribe their names to the rules of the trade union and comply with the provisions of the act relating to the registration. So whatever the rules are related to the registration which have been given by the registrar of trade union, these persons who are subscribing their names should fulfill with their conditions which is being given. They should write the names, they should write their occupation, they should write the designation in which the workers are working in that particular factory or the organization. They should give their names, they should give the logo of the trade union. If more than half of the members who apply for the registration ceases to be member of the trade union, that means those members who are applying, and after the later stage, after the registration, they said they withdraw their names from that particular union or dislocate themselves from application, the procedure also been given under section 4 of the Trade Union Act. So while registration, number of workers apply for registration, and after the registration they say that they don't want to become a member of the trade union, or they want to dislocate from one of the department or one of the organization to another organization after the union has been registered. So this particular section speaks about the modes of registration. A notice should be given in writing to the registrar before granting the registration. It becomes invalid if the notice has been not given by the workers to the company that they are forming their union, and this notice also should be given to the registrar of the trade union. Only half or less than half of the members ceases to be a member of trade union or dislocate themselves from application, then in such cases also they should inform to the registrar before they change their particular set of mind. The application of registration should become valid if they give that particular notice. If they don't give the notice, then the application would be becoming invalid. Also, informing to the registrar, they should give the sufficient reasons why they are dislocating their names from one union to other union. What is the section 4 further says that every application of registration may be made to the registrar accompanied by the copy of the rules. These rules have been given, some important bylaws are been given by the registrar of trade unions, and some laws or some rules are been framed by that, internally framed by the union, which is proposed to be established. The name, occupation, the address of the trade union of the members should be given, the name of the trade union, on what name they would be been recognized, and the address of the head office where the office of the trade union is been located. The title of that particular members, whether he is a chairperson, he would be secretary, or he is the member, or he is a treasurer of that particular trade union. Out of that 7 members who are applying, that particular title should be given. The full name of that particular member should be given. The ages should be given. Why age has been taken into consideration, whether he is a minor or major. The address of that particular workers has been taken, which factory has been located, and where his job. It depends upon the nationality, whether it's an Indian national or not an international. Based on that, the nationality would be governed, and based on that nationality, the one will understand this particular trade union act is applicable or not applicable. The occupation of that particular office bearer should be given in that particular form, whether it is associated in production department, it is or planning department, or is in marketing, or is in logistic department. This particular title, it should be given in that particular form of the trade union, which is prescribed as per the format. Now there should be general statement of the asset and liabilities in the prescribed form. What are the assets of that particular union, whether the furniture, whether the table or the cell phone or this mobile phone or any of the stationery has been taken, and what are the liabilities. That particular format should be filled up by the union, and such contains particulars sent with the application to the registrar of the trade union. The existence of trade union, if the union is already been existing more than 1 year but it's not registered, then they should apply for registration to the registrar of trade unions. Coming to the last part today in this particular video, I had explained about the modes of registration, and if the union has been registered, if the union has been already formed but not registered, what is the procedure for registration? The Trade Union Act 1966 provides for the registration of Trade Union Act. Chapter 2 of the Act provides that the registration of trade union, and the section 3 to 6 gives the details about it. Appropriate government means the government where the trade union has been registered. Maybe if the industry is in particular Thane belt, then the person should approach to the register of trade union of the Thane, or to that particular district where that particular factory has been located. If the company is having many branches, and if the head office or the main factory is located in nearby vicinity of Mumbai, then they should approach to the register of trade union of Mumbai. If they want to have different unions at different places, then they should approach to different districts registered of the trade union. So in a company there would be more than 2 or 3 unions as per number of workers which have been affiliated. The trade union must fulfill all the requirements which are necessary for registration of trade union by paying the necessary fees. Once the fees are been paid to the register of the trade union and the registrar satisfies all the rules and regulations have been complied of, then they will issue the certificate, registration certificate of the trade union. Once they get the certificate from the registrar of trade union, it fulfills all the criteria, then this particular union comes into existence, and it has both civil and criminal immunity against any of the law. So, but the union should work within the ambit of the law. If they are overpassing with that particular points, then they would be liable for the offences. Section 7 to Section 10 is related to registration of the trade union, certificate of registration, and the cancellation of the certificate of trade union. So if you see this particular part, that is cancellation of trade union certificate, that power has been given, discretionary power has been given to the registrar of trade union. If the registrar feels that with the false or with the fraudulent nature, this union has been formed and this particular union is been coming into existence to destroy the particular business ethics, then they will cancel the registration certificate. Further, the registration should be over and over and again, it should be updated. That means after the validity has been completed, they should reapply for registration. Thank you thank you to students. Today in this particular video I will explain about the modes and application of registration of the trade union. Thank you.